Have you ever heard of a ruler who couldn't read or write, yet became one of the most enlightened and powerful emperors in history? This isn't a fairy tale. It's the real story of Akbar the Great, the third Mughal emperor who transformed a fragile kingdom into a vast, prosperous, and surprisingly modern empire. His story is a masterclass in leadership, tolerance, and vision. Born in 1542, Jalal-ud-Din Muhammad Akbar's early life was anything but royal. His father, Humayun, was in exile, and Akbar spent his youth learning the arts of war, hunting, riding, and fighting, instead of reading books. In fact, he remained illiterate his entire life. But what he lacked in formal education, he more than made up for with an insatiable curiosity, a sharp intellect, and a phenomenal memory. When he ascended the throne at the tender age of 13, the Mughal territory was a shadow of its former self. Few could have predicted that this young, uneducated boy would one day rule over most of the Indian subcontinent and be remembered as Akbar the Great. Akbar's first major challenge was to reclaim his kingdom. Under the guidance of his regent Bairam Khan, he faced a formidable Hindu general named Hemu at the Second Battle of Panipat in 1556. It was a brutal, decisive battle. The Mughals were outnumbered, and the odds were stacked against them. But a stroke of luck, or fate, changed everything. An arrow struck Hemu in the eye, and his army, seeing their leader fall, panicked and fled. This victory was the turning point. It secured the Mughal throne for Akbar and marked the true beginning of his reign. From this moment on, he embarked on a relentless campaign of military expansion. For the next 4 decades, Akbar's armies marched across India. He used a clever combination of overwhelming military force and strategic diplomacy. States like Rajputana, known for their fierce warrior clans, were a major obstacle. Instead of just conquering them, Akbar offered them a choice: join the Mughal Empire and retain your autonomy, or face his army. Many Rajput rulers wisely chose alliance. Akbar cemented these relationships through marriage, even marrying a Rajput princess, Jodhabai. This wasn't just a political move, it was a powerful symbol of his desire to unite the diverse peoples of his empire. He treated his Rajput allies as partners, not subjects, giving them high-ranking positions in his army and government. This brilliant strategy neutralized a major threat and integrated some of India's finest warriors into his administration. But Akbar's genius wasn't limited to the battlefield. He knew that a lasting empire couldn't be built on conquest alone. It needed a solid foundation of effective governance. He completely overhauled the administration, creating a centralized system that was efficient and, for its time, remarkably fair. He introduced the Mansabdari system, a unique structure that ranked all government officials. Each Mansabdar was responsible for maintaining a certain number of soldiers and horses ready for service. In return, they received a salary, often in the form of land grants called jagirs. This system ensured a loyal and powerful army while also creating a structured bureaucracy that could manage the sprawling empire. One of Akbar's most revolutionary reforms was in the realm of finance. Under his finance minister, Raja Todar Mal, he implemented a sophisticated land revenue system. For the first time, land was carefully surveyed and assessed based on its fertility and crop yield. Taxes were fixed at a reasonable rate, typically 1/3 of the average produce, and could be paid in cash. This system, known as the Zabtai system, provided a steady and predictable stream of income for the state, but more importantly, it protected farmers from corrupt officials and unpredictable tax demands. It created stability and encouraged agricultural production, leading to widespread prosperity across the empire. The economy boomed and trade flourished, making the Mughal court one of the wealthiest in the world. Perhaps the most extraordinary aspect of Akbar's rule was his policy of religious tolerance. In an age when religious persecution was the norm across the world, Akbar was a beacon of open-mindedness. He was a devout Muslim, but he believed that all religions held a piece of the truth. He abolished the jizya, a discriminatory tax levied on non-Muslims, a move that won him immense loyalty from his Hindu subjects, who formed the majority of the population. He actively encouraged dialogue between different faiths. In 1575, he built a special hall called the Ibadat Khana, or House of Worship, in his new capital, Fatehpur Sikri. Here, he would invite scholars, mystics, and theologians from all religions, Muslims, Hindus, Jains, Zoroastrians, and even Jesuit priests from Europe, to engage in debates. Akbar would listen intently for hours, questioning and challenging their beliefs, searching for a common ground. He wasn't just a passive observer, he was a genuine seeker of spiritual truth. These discussions profoundly shaped his worldview and led to his most radical innovation. Frustrated by the conflicts and intolerance he saw among the established religions, Akbar proposed his own syncretic faith, the Din-i-Ilahi, or religion of God. This wasn't a new religion meant to replace others, but rather an ethical code that combined the best elements of Islam, Hinduism, Zoroastrianism, and Christianity. It emphasized virtues like piety, prudence, and kindness, and its central tenet was loyalty to the emperor as the spiritual guide of the people. While the Din-i-Ilahi never gained a mass following, it was mostly confined to his inner circle. It stands as a testament to his incredible vision of a united, harmonious society where people of all faiths could coexist peacefully. Akbar's court was also a vibrant center of art, culture, and architecture. He was a great patron, and despite being illiterate himself, he amassed a library of over 24,000 volumes, which were read to him daily. He commissioned grand architectural projects, most notably the city of Fatehpur Sikri, a stunning masterpiece of red sandstone that blended Persian, Turkish, and Indian architectural styles. His workshops produced exquisite miniature paintings, textiles, and crafts. The 9 jewels, or Navaratnas, a group of his most talented courtiers, included luminaries like the musician Tansen, the witty advisor Birbal, and the historian Abul Fazl, who chronicled Akbar's reign in the famous Akbarnama. When Akbar died in 1605, he left behind an empire that was not only vast and powerful, but also stable, prosperous, and culturally rich. He had transformed the very idea of kingship in India. He was more than just a conqueror. He was an institution builder, a unifier, a philosopher king who ruled with a unique blend of strength, wisdom, and compassion. His legacy is not just in the territories he conquered or the monuments he built, but in the ideals of secularism and inclusivity he championed. In a world still grappling with division and conflict, the story of Akbar the Great, the illiterate boy who became a visionary emperor, remains as relevant and inspiring as ever. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this journey into the past fascinating, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories about the great figures who shaped our world. See you next time.